Why is it you think that it represents hope for some of those people that may not be seeing it the same way as you?
Well, because for a long time, right, and we can discuss when this started. Maybe it's just been forever. The people of the world have been struggling against the political current, right? Struggling against the political current. As you debase the currency, everybody has to fight their way uphill, and it's a struggle. And it got to be bigger starting in 1971, but we had it from World War I, and I guess people's, dated back the fall of the Roman Empire, right? When they started debasing the currency, and we plunged in the Dark Ages, right? You can trace a lot of the challenges of mankind to the lack of an effective currency, right? The human condition has struggled from toxicity in the currency, right? If Bitcoin is perfected or engineered monetary energy. Thomas Edison gave us electrical energy, and John D. Rockefeller gave us chemical energy. And the human condition has been dramatically elevated by chemical energy, electrical energy, and the by the way, antibiotics, you could think of them, as biological energy. If you think about what's the impact of antibiotics, well, we go from living 50 years in 1900 to living 70 years in 1950. Okay, so did antibiotics matter? Well, if you wanted to live an extra 20 years, it mattered. Does electricity matter? Pretty obvious, right? There's no city on Earth without electricity. There's no skyscraper. Does oil matter? Absolutely. I mean, John D. Rockefeller drove down the cost of energy by a factor of 10,000 on the entire human civilizations based upon oil. If one man did more, right, it's hard to figure out who could have done more than that. So the humans have struggled under toxic, defective monetary energy for thousands of years. Right, gold was defective. It was defective before 1933 when Roosevelt seized it. It's always been defective. It was the least defective. I'm reminded that well-meaning physicians bled George Washington to death. Right, they bled him to death. Right, because blood was toxic, and so they bled him out. And it just makes, and that's why we don't really like politicians, right, to make decisions about blood transfusion. And so if we look through the history of man, elevation of the human condition has always been a function of engineering breakthroughs. When we got fire, that elevated us above the animals. That type of energy, and all of the other breakthroughs were aqueducts channel gravitational energy, right? So channeling of these energies, the chemical energy, the gravitational energy, the electrical energy, they were all really critical. And the human race has struggled under a defective monetary energy. And Bitcoin is the first true perfected monetary energy system that we managed to create.